Greetings, GI Joe fans. Welcome back to the channel. Now, it's widely known I personally don't care for classified, but what cannot be argued is that I love GI Joe. And one thing I would never do is tell anyone what they like isn't cool. The information in this video was originally leaked to channel members only during a members only stream on February 2nd. But I always planned on sharing it with everyone because, as the Sunbow cartoon always told us, knowing is half the battle. Hasbro's business model toward toys has changed several times over the past year, and now with the mandate of being risk-adverse company-wide, a lot of previous tentative plans for toy rollouts have definitely changed. The information in this video I've had for several months, but part of the reason I sit on stuff like this before I leak it is because of two reasons. One, I do not want a certain person or persons at Hasbro to catch on to the when and how of me obtaining the information I share in these leaks. And equally important, things can and often do change, especially after the 5 bad quarters Hasbro just experienced over the last year and change. Anyway, let's get on with these leaks. If you're new here, I'd like to thank you for checking out this video. Enjoy. You want me to drop some mad HasLab news?
Yeah.
So now we're looking at the next GI Joe HasLab. A couple of these were already in the running. It is a Joe HasLab because the last one was the Rattler, which, by the way, I called that shit years ago, remember?
Yep.
It is a ground vehicle.
Snowcat.
So it's one of 4. There are 4 options right now. Here we go. Option 1
Mauler.
is the Mauler, and the Mauler's been in the running for a while. The Mauler was an option when the Dragonfly was an option.
Mm-hmm.
So the Mauler is one option. It's a little updated, but because it's a HasLab, you got lights and all that stuff. And the proposal is that it will have interchangeable pieces of armor where you can take some off and replace them with, you know, like a 6-pack kind of explosive reactive armor, the ERA, things like that. So the Mauler is option 1. Steeler and Heavy Metal, both of them.
Cool.
So again, all this stuff is subject to change, but that's what's being kind of pitched right now. So the Mauler with interchangeable armor pieces, Heavy Metal and Steeler. There was also talk of a heavy weapons Joe army builder to come with it. But a lot of people that have ears over there are saying, stop putting army builders in with this stuff.
You have to offer them again later.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't expect people to buy multiple HasLabs like me. I'm a moron, Chad. I did that. Yeah.
Okay, so Mauler's number 1. Number 2, Snowcat.
I liked the Snowcat when I was a kid.
I love the Snowcat.
Vehicle. Yeah.
The Snowcat comes with 2 specific caveats. One is a retro version that looks just like this, but it would have lights and all that stuff. It would be updated very little. The second option is a Snowcat. The front end kind of looks like this. The back end is much larger to house troops, and the missile pod would actually pop up like the 2004 Ice Saber. So it would be much more detailed and kind of toyetic, the back half of the vehicle.
I love that idea of like taking the aesthetic of the Snowcat,
right,
and making the back end like a troop carrier like the back end, like being like, with the ramp down and the troops come out.
Yeah.
You have all your snow troops coming out. That'd be cool.
This vehicle and the last one on the list, again, because there's 4 in the running right now. It's almost like these Joe vehicles had a baby with a U.S. Army Stryker. So it is a combat vehicle, but it's also designed to carry troops as well. Those are the 2 possibilities of a snowcat. One is completely retro like this. 2 is enlarged with the crew compartment in the back and the missile pod pops up and things like that. Okay. One of the figures that's being kicked around as a stretch goal for this is Snow Bunny Baroness.
Ooh. Yeah. Hell yeah.
So that's the possibilities with the snowcat. Number 3, which I found a little surprising, is the GI Joe Hammer.
Another cool vehicle. Yeah.
Another cool vehicle. The caveat to the Hammer is they're not truly considering it unless they can get the licensing from Hummer.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like the way Bobby did with the Rizvani tank.
Yeah.
They want to do the Hammer licensed with all the Hummer stuff.
If they do a legit Hummer, I'll back that.
Yeah.
I would get that. Yeah, absolutely.
And then it would have all of this stuff. It would have all the plug-in guns, and the machine gun positions off the running boards and all that stuff. It would not have finger flick technology. So Frank Coronius is probably not going to be thrilled about that, but the Hammer is an option, and they showed it in 3 different colors. Night Force, this original, and camouflage. And then you're going to see how that theme recurs here again in a second. So option 3 is the Hammer. Option 4 is the most expensive option out of them all.
The Whale.
No.
Oh.
This would be the costliest Joe HasLab, if they do it. The Havoc.
Oh, okay.
Now, the Havoc has caveats just like the Snowcat does. And like the Hammer, the Havoc was shown in 3 different colorways. The original Night Force camouflage. See how they're just kind of reusing themes over and over.
Mm-hmm.
What I saw, and again, I can't share too much, right? But what I saw didn't have this articulated seat on the top with the guns. It did have something that sort of articulated on this arm, and it had cannons, but it was more like the remote weapon system or the Crows 2s that you would see on top of, say, a Stryker or a Humvee. It has something more akin to that with a drone.
Cool. I'm down for a drone.
The back would be completely reconfigured, kind of like one of the options of the Snowcat. It would still sort of open up, but you have to think Hiya Toys Aliens APC. It would look like that.
Yeah.
With the consoles, the seats, the whole 9 yards.
Sweet. I love
drop
that.
Down ramp, all of that stuff. And then that's what the Havoc would be. If they do it, and again, that Hiya Toys Aliens APC is massive for 1/18 scale. So if they made this, they said the price point would be over $300.
Okay.
Everything else, that whole Thunder Machine being a higher price point fan channel, that's out. So yeah, there's a lot of shakeup going on. They're still going to keep doing Joe, but it's just that whole risk adverse model. And no matter which of the 4 it is, it's not going to be until 2026.
So no Joe HasLab this year?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
At least that's what all the slides, I can say all the slides said 2026.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, I got to leave it there. But just to sum it up, just to kind of recap, option 1 is the Mauler with heavy metal and Steeler. Option 2 is the Snowcat. And there's 2 possible versions of the Snowcat, a retro and then an updated one. And the updated one looks freaking rad. I'm not a classified guy, and it looks awesome. And one of the stretch goal figures, Snow Bunny Baroness. Option 3 is the GI Joe hammer. It would just be updated, but one thing that they really want is to get the licensing with Hummer so they could put all the tagging on it. And then option 4 is the Havoc, which would be really large, really expensive for a GI Joe HasLab. It will come with cross country, and the figure they showed is dead on cross country. The only thing he doesn't have is obviously the flag. He doesn't have the flag on the belt buckle, or, you know, a different version that had it on the back of his vest.
He's got that hat though?
He does have the hat.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the options. It's gonna be,
I'm leaning towards like the Hummer just because I love the look of a Hummer. That is a military vehicle. The Snowcat and the Havoc are pretend time.
Yeah, the Havoc's a lot more future forward. The Snowcat is kind of on the cusp of future forward. It's a little more
and then of course the Mauler. The Mauler's cool.
And I've been saying Mauler for a hot minute. I'm going with the Mauler.
Yeah. I would prefer a Hummer over the Mauler, but yeah. That's cool. 2026.
I love the fact that I know this stuff, that I have this information, and I don't like classified, and the pros hate that I know this stuff. The only one that they gave like a hard price on was the Havoc, and it was if we do this one, it's going to be at least $300. That's the verbiage that was used. So because of that shift in their business, moving more toward digital and gaming, away from toys, the information that I had before about a higher price point for fan channel vehicles, that's gone. So the Thunder Machine, the Snowcat, like those mid-sized vehicles being, $175 to $200 mid-range, out. That's out. When they restructured everything after the recent, after the recent changes, they just showed 4. So I don't know, man. Things are changing. They're changing fast. And that's what it is.